Welcome to Graceful Aging. I'm Gregory Bader, your host. Today, we're going to talk about something you'd probably not rather talk about. In fact, you'd probably rather go to the dentist. That's what certain surveys say. Or you'd probably rather talk about sex. Hard to believe, isn't it? But in fact, most people would rather talk about those things than their finances. In today's show, it's Honey, Let's Talk Money. Because that's what we need to do. And isn't that true? Gail Perry Mason, our wonderful guest today.
Gregory, that is so true. But you know what? Money has sometimes more power than sex does. So let's talk about, honey, let's talk about some money. I know.
Absolutely. And it's, it is a two-way conversation that has to occur between men and women.
Oh, it is. Definitely. It is. Definitely. In any relationship, there's money involved, it seems like. And it's something that we all need to talk about.
Now, in your capacity as a senior financial director for a major investment house, Oppenheimer Funds, you meet thousands of people, and you're a noted speaker and author, and your credentials, we could take the whole show talking about those. I'm so happy that you're with us today to share your expertise and your energy with our viewers. It's fabulous.
You know what? It's an honor to be here. But first of all, it's great to have a show called Gracefully Aging. I think that's one thing that we all need, in our lives, is we need to age gracefully. But with everything you're doing, it's just phenomenal.
Well, I appreciate that. But why is it that people don't talk about money, especially women? Why are women so backwards about the discussion of money and finances?
Well, I wouldn't use the word backward. No, I'm only kidding. No, I wouldn't use the word. But no, I just think that women, it's something we don't talk about. We will talk about different things, whether it, like you said, sex or buying a pair of new shoes, or we'll talk about what we're going to purchase. We talk about our purchasing power. We actually won't talk about the dollars and the cents. So it doesn't come down to that. We just don't talk about it because those are the type of things that, I would rather not talk about money because I don't know if I'll have enough at the end of the day. So it's something we maybe not want to talk about all the time. So that's the main reason why. And there's something that women didn't talk about. Men were the provider.
Yeah, there's all that societal stuff.
So men were the providers. So it's kind of like, we were good at spending the money, but we never talked about the dollars and cents and the balances. All women want balance in their life. We talk about balanced diet, but we don't talk about balanced budget. So the things that we need to do is more to talk about both of them because they do go hand in hand, and it does come to discipline. When you talk about money, you talk about discipline. When you talk about self-esteem, you talk about self-worth and net worth. So those are things like, let's not talk about this. But today we are.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Because I think it's so important that there so many things can happen that why be left in the lurch about what your finances are, and yet so many women are. And it really does strike me as odd that women are like you say, terrific at the purchasing power. They're out there in society really controlling
reading
the
consumer
economy.
reports. We know before we buy something, it's like we're going to check it out. So we're going to check out things before we buy a washer, a dryer, a car. We make most of the car purchases these days.
But yet it stops when you look at IRAs and long-term investments. For some reason, there seems to be almost a default that they look to their husband or they look to a man in their life to control those things, and there's a disinterest.
Well, and you know what? And the one thing is we look Social Security and a man. So we used to do that. Times have changed. And you can't look at the same exact as man as your security.
Yeah, a man has no plan.
No, and a man is not a plan. Absolutely right. And I always tell this joke: what's the difference between a government bond and a man? And all the women normally get it. Well, the bond matures, the man doesn't. So we know that bonds mature, but we don't own the bonds. We don't own the things where we go and shop. We need to look at ownership versus being the consumer. We have a ton of purchasing power, but now our net worth is growing, our education is growing because we're not dependent on the man like we used to. Years ago, the man was the provider, and don't get me wrong, I believe in the Bible, the man's supposed to be the provider, but also now women have to take care of the household. Women have to take care of the bills. So I think now women are doing that more often. And there's a lot of single moms out here. There's a lot of single women, whether by choice or not. We have to take care of the bills and have to take care of the household. Even if the man is there, we still have to do it.
Well, so here's the first juncture that I see.
Okay.
We've got a lot of people sitting at home now in their kitchens and living rooms, and you know, they've lived their whole life, and there's no discussion whatsoever about long-term finances. And how do you have a conversation about your long-term finances as a couple? So let's speak to the couples out there, whether it's a man or a woman. How do you go about starting a conversation like that? Is it when an overdue bill comes in and who didn't pay this bill?
That's not a good time.
Okay.
That's not a good time to do it. You start with the word like we started out. Honey, let's set a time. Let's set a time frame. And I think you need a designated time. I know one couple that is phenomenal, and she talks about this. Her name is Kim Crouch. She's on Twitter all the time. Great person to follow. Every Sunday, her and her husband get together, and they add up. Let me see how much we spent this week. And they come together. They both come together with their checkbooks, their ATM, and say, you know what? How much did you spend? How much did you spend? And then they add it up together, and then they balance the checkbook together. There is a designated time. I think you need to do that. And if you can't do it, hire a third party to talk about it, you know, whether it's Green Path, but you know what the best thing to do, Gregory?
What's that?
Go to mint.com. Do it together. mint.com. Best website ever, I think.
Now that's one of those websites where it can do your budgeting and give you graphs, and there are a number of different sources like that.
Yes,
but that
AARP has a great one. AARP has a good one, but I love mint.com, and I love AARP, but mint.com, what they do is every Friday, they send you a checkup. You get a financial checkup. Oh, you overspent. Oh, you need to get a lower interest rate. You know, because some women, and you know, I know I've done that. Oh, let me just go ahead and get, you know, the charge card at Nordstrom's or Neiman or Macy's. And it's like, oh, paying interest is not in my best interest.
No,
so I know that's the only time it's better, you know, to give than receive is when you're accepting interest. It's not better to just pay it all the time. So I look at, you know, so you look at different things, and I think the woman and the man, partners need to come together. You need to be partners in money. You need to be partners. And I always say,
easier said than done, though. How do you raise that conversation? I mean, I'm the man, you're the woman. Let's do a little role acting.
Okay, let's do a little role play.
And you ask me about finances, and I say, look, Gail, I've got it under control. I've been doing it our entire married life. I've got it under control. What are you telling me that you need? I've got it under control. Don't you trust me?
Oh, of course I trust you, Gregory. I trust you, and that's why I want to do it. I want you to trust me also.
Well, of course I trust you. You take care of the cooking and the laundry, and you pay the regular bills. That's enough.
Yeah, but I want to see the recipe of our finances. I handle the recipes in the kitchen, but now I want to look at the recipes and the ingredients that go into our finances. Because what if something, God forbid, what if you go in the hospital and I need to know, where's the checkbook? I need to know how much is in there. You know, where's the savings? Maybe I can have just a little bit of input. You know, let me start, you know, looking at even the cable bill. Maybe I can get a cheaper cable bill. As long as we don't get rid of Lifetime, Gregory, I'm fine. So, you know, those are the type of things, you know, let's look at different things in our household to say maybe our cell phone bill. Let me just take a look. You know what, Gregory, I've been looking at this one tape. You know, let's look at it together. Matter of fact, let's go to a financial seminar together. They have dinner. They're serving dinner. It could be a date, and it's paid for too. So let's go to a financial seminar together and to learn. I want to learn, and I want to learn from you, and I want you to be my teacher. So I'm submitting to you. I want you to be my teacher, and I want you to teach me. What's our interest rate? What are we getting? You know, let's shop and compare. And then let's maybe have a contest between the both of us.
Oh, you'll be bored with it. You really won't be interested.
No, I won't be bored. I really want to learn. And I want to learn from you because I think you're the best because you have held our family together this long. I know, you've held our family together this long. So I want to know, how did you do it? Because let me tell you why. A lot of my friends are coming to me and they're telling me that their husband's been handling everything, and now they don't know who handles their house note. Matter of fact, they found out that they're in foreclosure. So they came and they says, oh my God, we're in foreclosure, and my husband didn't tell me. Our lights are about to get shut off, and they didn't tell me, and I didn't even know we had all these credit card bills, and he used money in his 401k. So I know you would never do anything like that. So I just want to know what's going on so I can teach them. Matter of fact, maybe even one day we'll do a book together and talk about it. That's what we'll do, Gregory, because you are the best.
Good suggestions right there.
Okay,
you know, there is so much in a relationship as far as it is difficult to talk about money, but yet so important to talk about money. because either well, typically men are dying or do die sooner than a female.
Yes,
I mean, women.
You can't leave me broke, Gregory.
Yeah, women at 65 are living 20 more years.
Yes, we are.
And I think 90% of women are going to be living on their own at some point. And why wait until that happens to learn about finances?
We don't want to outlive our money. And together, I don't think, and I'm sure Greg and your family, my family, the worst thing is to outlive our money. We have kids. We got to take care of our kids. We got to take care of our parents. A lot of us in the sandwich generation. And we have to take care of them financially, emotionally. And that costs us. It costs us our time and it costs us our money. So we have to figure out, as women, we're nurturers, but we don't nurture our checkbooks. We don't nurture our retirement accounts. We just nurture each other. So now we have to, and I always say, don't ever love anything that can't love you back. Money can't love you back, but you do need to respect your money and it'll respect you. So, and it's currency. It's really just currency. You determine where it flows. It has to flow in the right direction and earn interest. And I just think mint.com is one of the best websites we need to do. We need to have, I think, most families need to have their own board of directors. Go get some outside help. Who's our accountant? Most people don't even know who handles our taxes. Who does that?
That's a lot of homework right there.
Oh, it is. I know it is.
So let's break that down a little bit. So you want to find a good time where there's probably no outside pressures. You're not rushing out the door, or it's not midnight.
Phone's not ringing. You're not answering the phone. Put the cell phones away.
Should you have an agenda, perhaps, too?
An agenda would be great. Come together with an agenda. Say, what's our checklist? Who's our accountant? How much do we have in our balances? What is our net worth? We need to know those
now look,
things.
I'm already bristling up because that's threatening to me, like I don't know those things or I don't have those things in order. But yet, if for a man, now speak to the men out there, why is it important for men to educate their spouses about finances as well? What kind of peace of mind will that provide them?
Oh, financial peace is peace in the household. So if you want peace in the household, most men want to come home, they want to eat. That's what they want to do. That's all they think about. They're not thinking about, what's their net worth? Why should I share that with my wife? What's in our checking account? Heck, she uses the ATM all the time. She uses charge cards, so who cares? Yes, we do care. We want to know that there's enough money there and not get declined when we're going to buy groceries. So I think a good time is let's just sit down. Let's sit down after dinner, during dessert. Let's just talk about how can we continue to have dessert in our life. So let's just sit down. Let's just start out.
Maybe what year can we retire?
Yes.
Or will we be able to retire at what point?
And I think it's a great thing to talk about, how did your family handle the finances? So does your mom and dad, how did they handle them? Because it's basically handed down generation to generation. Oh, my dad had to work so hard. He had to work 2 jobs while my mom took care of the household. But my mom could save money. Have you noticed that? That women, no matter what, here's $20 for groceries for the week. I'm going to save 5 out of that 20, and I'm going to use coupons for the other 5, and I'm going to put away some money. So I'm going to do this. Women can really save and cut back, but it's kind of like we don't want to have barriers and boundaries. Let's just take away all the barriers, all the boundaries, and just say, what? I don't want you to be upset with me, but I bought this besides sneaking some shoes in the house. Really, think about it. We don't want to sneak. Women don't want to do that, but we're frightened. We got to take the fear out of the conversation. So take the fear out of the conversation. Have a glass of wine. There you go. Wine or dessert. I know. We definitely need to do that.
How often should these be? Monthly meetings or bi-monthly or weekly?
I think when you start out weekly. Start weekly and say, guess what, honey? Let's start making layoffs. Did you read that we're in a recession? I was like, heck yeah. Well, you think I've been working every day? Yeah, I know that. Is your job making layoffs? Let's start making layoffs in our household. Then let's just go through our budget. Oh, let's go through this together. Let's see what we can lay off.
Almost make it a game.
Yeah, make it a game. Well, let's see what we can lay off, honey. You lay off a couple of channels. Well, I'm not saying ESPN, but you lay off a couple of channels. I'll lay off a couple of channels. I'm not laying off Lifetime. But let's just lay off a few things. Let's, cut the lights off more. Let's only wash clothes every other day. All those things add up. Let's use, Tide, in cold water. Let's start doing things to make a game out of it. How much can we reduce the electric bill, the gas bill? let's see what we can do in our household.
And I guess the goal of doing that, if we share what our retirement goals are, or when we want to retire, it can get us closer to that timeline too.
Oh, definitely. And matter of fact, let's go see a financial planner together. Our date. Let's plan. Let's get the calendars out. Come with the calendars. Let's see this day, this time. Let's call the financial advisor and see if he or she could meet with us, 6 months down the line. Let's see if we're on track for our retirement planning goals.
So, Gail Perry Mason, you've talked with a lot of people. How do people feel after they've broken the ice with their husband or partner and started that conversation? Do they feel stronger?
Oh, yes, of course. Peace. It brings financial peace in the house. You want balance, you want peace in your house. So you would hate to come home and not, my wife is going to be upset. And then the wife hates to come home. Is he there? Let me drive up. Oh, let me see those shoes. Oh, let me get home before the mail gets here. I don't want him to open a credit card bill. I don't want him to see I bought this. So we have to do that. Or let me just send the credit card bill to my office versus going home. I mean, people do that. And you probably know a few people who have done it, and so do I. So what we need to do is, we don't need that anxiety. I mean, people are dying of stress. Financial stress. If you look at it, people are dying of financial stress. That is so not worth it. So we need financial peace and balance. It makes you live longer and healthier. You want to live, I say, Gregory, I want you to live, 50 more years with me. We don't need financial stress, so let's talk about it. What can I do to take the stress off of you?
So it's a health program.
Oh, it is. I know. Financial health. That's what we need. And when you go get your checkup, honey, let me make your checkup for the doctor's appointment. Then also let's make our checkup for our finances too, because it goes hand in hand. And it all comes down to, what are we doing? Are we eating a balanced meal? And our finances balanced? And I want to be a part of your team. I'm on your team.
It's interesting. I read on your website, which is gailperrymason.net, great website.
Oh, thank you.
That you had one tip about the nutrients that we need with our finances. So
yes.
what's vitamin? What was it? Vitamin D. What's vitamin D?
Oh, well, you don't need debt. You need deposits in your life. I forgot what my vitamin D was, but you do need make more deposits in your life than you make withdrawals.
And vitamin A.
Vitamin A, assets. You need assets in your life, So those are the type of things that we need in our life, is to increase our assets.
And let's see, vitamin C.
Did I have that all down here? Okay, let me see. What did I put? Vitamin C. I don't even remember what I put.
Let's see, vitamin B, balance.
Yeah, balance. Yeah, definitely. And then what did I put for vitamin C?
How about courage?
Oh,
the courage to raise the topic.
You know what? And courage to even look at our finances. You need the courage to look at your finances.
Is it interesting or is it boring?
It's so interesting.
Why is it interesting? Why?
If you make it say, like, you know what, I got $500. Can I turn this $500 into $600? That's the most exciting thing in the world. When you could go to sleep at night in financial peace. It's like, you know what? Let me go to sleep at night.
But
let me know that, my money's working for me, and I'm not out here working every single day for my money.
But, I've never done it before. I've never read these financial statements and these things that come in. Will I be able to understand these things?
Of course, it's in dollars and cents. And if you can't understand it, that's where this little 800 number here. You know what? I'm going to call this 800 number, and I'm going to ask them what I don't understand. There's no ever a dumb question ever. I think you should ask, I don't know what this even 50-cent dividend is. I don't know. What's a $50 dividend, $500 dividend, or 5 cents? Know where your dollars and cents are. I just think we need the courage, like I said, vitamin C, to ask questions about our finances, to know, am I going to ever outlive my money? If I do, then what am I going to do? My kids, I always tell my kids, you're going to be my retirement. Every time they ask me for any money, I'm like, okay, I need this back in retirement. That's what I tell my kids, because my kids will rob me blind. So I tell them all the time, either you bring in income or I need it during retirement. That's what I need. So
there we go.
Yeah, definitely. They're my Roth.
So, honey, let's talk money can go both ways. Honey, let's talk money and a spouse.
Yes.
Honey, let's talk money, and it doesn't have to be threatening.
Oh, not at all. And it shouldn't be.
At the first point that it is threatening, give some advice to whoever is the person broaching the subject. Should they back off at that point and find another time, or tell us again how they get
you know
over
what?
that.
I think if the person feels threatened, like, oh, wow, I don't want to talk about this right now. Okay, then when's a good time, honey? Let's just it's all right. It's okay. What's a good time for you to talk about it? And let's approach it, then think about another way to approach it. Like, honey, call them up. Guess what? I found this great, company I want to invest in. Or guess what? what, do we have an IRA Roth? Do we have one? Because I heard those things are good. Do we have a 529 plan for our kids? I heard that that's a good thing. Do we have one? Oh, we do. I knew you would have it. I know you got it all together. Encourage people. And I think the best thing to do is just let people know, like, wow, you're on track. You're doing the right thing. But encourage them. You know, we have to be on the same team. And whether you're the cheerleader, whether you're the coach, whatever you're the quarterback, never be on the defense. You know, always just go, we're on the same team. We want the same end result. We want our kids to get educated. We want our kids to have a better life than we have had. We want us to live together. We want us to go on vacation.
Right.
So just think about it.
We need those vacations.
Yeah, we need a vacation. I know. I haven't had a vacation in years, but that's what I want. You know, so I want to save for a vacation. Honey, do we have a vacation fund? Guess what? The credit union has one, and I'm going to put some money in it. What do you think? Or you can, that's another thing. A woman can go and open up a credit union account. You know, let me call and get your social security number. You know, I'm opening up this credit union account for our vacation, and I found different ways to save. You know, why don't you join me? So just, you know, just fun things.
You know, and leaving on fun is probably a good point, and the sooner we have these conversations, the better.
Yes.
You know, I want to thank you so much for being here. We've just touched on
I
the
know.
topic.
It went by fast. Okay.
We're gonna show a little video right now that just accentuates all of the things that you said, and women look back in their lives and wish they would have started earlier. So let's take a look at this video together, and it makes a good point.
Retirement to me means taking it easy, not having to get up first thing in the morning and rushing to work.
I was worried about retirement. I thought, oh my gosh, what will I be without this professional identification?
I will be traveling incessantly in my retirement.
Retirement means that, you know, you're having a good time and you're relaxing and enjoying life, but that's not exactly what's happening with us right now.
I think it is extremely, not even important, it's vital to have a plan.
We will plan at some point, but it's not a priority for us right now.
Now that it's actually a reality, you know, it's less than 4 years away, I realize I don't have a plan, at least not a plan that's going to work for very long, especially that people are living longer now.
I know that if at some point I don't have enough money, I'm not comfortable, I plan on downscaling my home.
First of all, I thought our house would be worth a lot more money than it is. It was when I was thinking about it, and so it's not anymore. It's that happened.
In order to be ready for the unexpected, I had to have payroll deduction, meaning put money away before I got my hands on it. My husband got disabled. On a commercial fishing boat, he had an accident, and we really were careful about what we spent, especially after he had his accident, because we had to be.
Knowing what's going on now politically and everything else, we don't know how much we're going to really have with Medicare and Social Security and all that.
I thought I was going to retire at 50 from the university and realized once I looked at the numbers that was an impossibility.
Everything that I tried to put away sooner got used for other things.
I had a very good retirement, but in the divorce you lose half. So I am no longer going to be able to retire like I planned.
I could afford to do that, to take money out every month, to save for when I didn't want to work anymore, and miraculously the money was there.
Save for today, save for your future. But even though $100 a month, it really can make a big difference.
Start putting your money in everything. IRA, Roth IRA.
Get into those 401k plans if your company offers them.
Start now. As ridiculous as it seems, when you're young, you think you're going to be young forever, and you think your job is on for as long as you want it. Somehow life plays a trick on you.
Retirement means freedom and the opportunity to really live.
Am I looking forward to retiring? Not really. I would like to be able to be active in my old age.
Well, I think that video says it, doesn't it? Work quickly, work earlier in your life rather than later. And Gail, where can people go to get information and what should they do? 30-second answer. Tell America.
You know what? Just like MetLife said, time is on your side. That's what you need is time and patience. But they can go anywhere. Just whoever you feel comfortable with, referrals, whether it's MetLife, whether it's Nationwide.
Oppenheimer.
Yeah, Oppenheimer, anyone you could just go, but it's your own comfort. Make sure it's within your comfort zone and make sure you talk about it, which is probably outside your comfort zone, and that's where success begins.
Gail Perry Mason, thanks again.
Gregory, thank you for having the show.
My pleasure. And honey, let's talk money. Don't be afraid, start now. Thanks for being with us today on Graceful Aging.